I get even more outraged by these crooks, these scammers, who have no commitment to solving problems and just play to the crowd. Or if I get outraged at the foolish crowd that still believes them, let me tell you, I challenge you. Look up the promises that Bolsonaro made. Bolsonaro even talked about the death penalty. Bolsonaro talked about life imprisonment. Bolsonaro said he would lower the age of criminal responsibility. Bolsonaro talked a lot of nonsense. And I ask you, what was Bolsonaro able to get approved? He said that just to get your vote, to make a sucker of you, and apparently you're still a sucker. And Flávio Bolsonaro, Zema, those Bolsonaristas, they're just repeating the same things. And a lot of what little Bolsonaro said back then, all over again, all the lies again, all those situations that our laws don't allow, that aren't valid, with no exception at all. That's just talk to fool people. It's just sweet talk for the herd, just to keep them going. See if you can get the vote, and then I couldn't. Oh.
The National Congress didn't allow it. Oh, I did, but the Supreme Federal Court overturned it. Oh.
And you were the idiot in all this. Can you believe that, or do you want more? You will perish from lack of knowledge. It's there in the Bible. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Free from what? From stupidity, from foolishness, from idiocy, from manipulation. And here I'm speaking regardless of religious belief or political and ideological stance. Whether you're right-wing, left-wing, or centrist. Meanwhile, guess what? They latch onto the public teeth. But what's worse, they're saying it's anti-establishment.
No, I am anti-establishment.
The mother lives off the public teeth. The father lives off the public teeth. The son lives off the public teeth. The daughter lives off the public teeth. Oh, I am anti-establishment. And you poor, miserable, struggling, it's been a terrible fight. You get 2 days off a week. Just 2 measly days. You who work like a dog and produce the wealth don't get to enjoy the wealth. They don't even want to give you 2 days off, while most of those who are against it are the ones who miss the most days in the National Congress. Let me show you right here. I'm showing you this so you can understand a little, so you can see and open your eyes. I know it's hard to see, but what's even harder is being blind and manipulated and used and herded like cattle. How much longer? How long are we going to keep voting for people who use the name of Christ and the sacred for political proselytism, when Jesus Christ said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's"? My kingdom is not here. My kingdom is there. The kingdom here is clearly evil. Or do you think Jesus Christ will return soon, maybe as president, since his kingdom isn't of this world? Do you think Jesus will soon come as a congressman or senator? Get away from me, brood of vipers. That's what Jesus said to the religious people of that time. The Sadducees and the Pharisees were the religious people of that time. Jesus said, "Get away from me, brood of vipers, because you prevent people from coming, even to me."
The religious people of that time.
It's the same thing today. Go get some help. Go to hell. Didn't like it? Cry. Cry, you miserable wretch. Look at the main ones missing here. They're the ones who are against ending the 6 on, 1 off schedule. In detail, their schedule is 3 on, 4 off. They are required to be at the National Congress on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's mandatory. Their schedule is 3 on, 4 off. and they are against ending your 6 on 1 off schedule. And look who else was absent here. No, let's see. No. Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous because I'm the one here. Today it's not you. No, today it's me. He. Here, look, more than 3,500 absences. Altogether, the group records 3,581 absences in plenary sessions. 2,784 absences were excused. Is your boss excusing your absences? 797 had no formal justification. The record highlights the attendance of these representatives in the exercise of their mandate. Focus on unexcused absences. The survey only considers absences without a registered legal justification. Absences due to official missions, medical leave, or family bereavement are provided for in the regulations and are not included in this record. Take a look here. The main ones who didn't go to work and didn't justify their absences. Pedro Lupion from the Republicanos Party from Paraná is against ending the 6 on 1 off schedule. Magna Mofato, a major businesswoman in Goiás from PL Goiás, is against ending the 6 on 1 off schedule, of course, right? She owns almost half of Caldas Novas, so you can imagine, right? She needs people working 24 hours a day, preferably. Duda Ramos from Podemos, also a Bolsonaro supporter, is against ending the 6 on 1 off schedule. Look at how many absences there are. Oh, if you miss 2 days, you already get fired. The first one here missed 41 days, the second one 30 days, and Duda 29 days. Vicentino Jr. from PSD of Tocantins, 28 days. Josivaldo JP, 27 days absent without justification. Look, olha. Delegado Eder Mauro, the PL hardliner, missed 19 days without justification, guys. These were all without justification. If you miss 19 days of work without a valid reason, what will happen? Bye. Marcelo Álvaro Antonio from PL of Minas Gerais. Both of them are against ending the 6 days on, 1 day off work schedule, 17 days. Ricardo Salles, former Minister of the Environment under Bolsonaro, from Novo, a Bolsonaro supporter, all about tough talk and aggression. He missed 16 times without any justification. Felipe Barros from PL, all about tough talk and aggression. He missed 15 days. Kim Kitaguiri from União without justification. He missed 10 days. Mario Frias, all about tough talk and aggression. 9 days. Gustavo Gaia missed 8 days. No justifications. Let me ask you, if you miss 2 days at your job, 1 day without justification, what happens to you? Exactly. These are the main ones who are absent, who missed work without any justification. And they are still at work. They were not fired for cause. Funny, isn't it? And here's the thing. Many of these unexcused absences are still excused. They don't even get marked absent for the day. These people are against ending your 6 on 1 off work schedule while they work a 3 on 4 off schedule. And on the day they want to work, they go. On the day they don't want to, they don't go. And they don't even have to justify it. They stay 2 days, 3 days without going to work and without giving any explanation. They stay 1 day. If you don't have a doctor's note, if you don't have a leave of absence, what's going to happen to you? That's right. That's why I say and repeat, as long as there is this kind of sweet deal for politicians in Brazil, every benefit you receive is fair. Why? Because they get benefits. Here we're talking about money, and a lot of money. What does a day of absence cost for these guys? And it's not even deducted. So as long as politicians in Brazil are treated with perks and privileges, you, the worker, and you, the poorer people, are entitled to Bolsa Familia, Veil, gas, aid. You have everything. You have the right to everything. To end what you have, or even to analyze it, you have to put an end to their perks. Yeah, as long as there are exemptions, subsidies, and credits for agribusiness for the elite, you deserve it. As long as there is tax immunity for religious temples, for religious entities, you deserve it. So don't accept that blame, because they keep trying to put the blame on you. And they say the problem is the measly amount of your minimum wage. And they say the problem is the measly amount of your BPC. And they say the problem is your pension, your retirement, you who contributed for 30, 35, 40 years just to receive the pittance you get today and still get blamed for it. That's what they want. They want that. And you still feel guilty. Brazil has to lower the minimum wage. What do they say? Bolsonaro supporters especially. They say the minimum wage has to be frozen. No, no, no. They say we have to end the laws, end the BPC. They still want to put the blame on you. Who, Andre? For example, this elite and these politicians who use the corporate media to brainwash you and make you think you're still the one to blame. No, no, I'm not lying. Just look at the main newspaper in the country. When something happens, what do they say you have to do? Oh, you have to cut the BPC. The problem is the BPC. The problem is Bolsa Familia. The problem is retirement. The problem is the survivor's pension. Isn't that right? Yes. While all the shady deals and little perks are going on, they never miss a month. And it's still my fault. Go screw yourself. Go ahead, go ahead. No, I'm not going to keep the live stream going. No. No, you're the one commenting, not me, right? People already call me crazy, insane. And you let me talk just a little, let me talk just a little. Oh, please, please help me for the love of God. Oh, Jesus. Smash the like button and leave your comment here. You don't let me talk even a little. No, for the love of God. That's right. I said it here. Look, I want to keep my distance. God forbid. I rebuke that. Get out, devil. Go on. Put it away. What? No, put it away or I'll stop the live. Put it there. Get out, devil. Oh, Lord, bring light, knowledge for God's sake. Oh, my Father. How long will people be used and manipulated by a disgusting elite through their own tragedies and prejudices? Who manipulate, who enslave, and who today rule over various religious temples with many mercenaries of faith. Put it there. Get out, devil. You are bound in the name of Jesus. Thank God. Meanwhile, the right gathers a few people on Avenida Paulista in a May Day demonstration. It was reported on several news websites, Italian stuff, and they said there were 47 people. There must have been about 50 people there, I don't know. I know it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. This is the right and the far right in Brazil. But notice something that I want to warn you about. This is the right and the far right without what? Religious fundamentalism. Soon they will probably call for new demonstrations together with the religious fundamentalists. We just saw them on their knees now. On their knees before their own sins, right? And I believe there were crimes. Then more people will show up exactly because of this trait. That's why I tell you it's unfortunate, right? Of mass manipulation, which unfortunately many religious temples that once worshiped Christ, today worship mammon. Today they worship calves. Today they worship men. What is mammon, Andrea? The god of wealth, who worships the money, the quid pro quo, the easy life. And they turn religious temples into real marketplaces for shady deals. Then you see it with more people. Why? Because there are people who are used and manipulated through faith. Unfortunately, that's the situation. And there's more. The PL is arranging an alternate spot for Eduardo Bolsonaro on a Senate ticket. The Liberal Party intends to nominate former federal deputy Eduardo Bolsonaro as the alternate on the party's Senate ticket in São Paulo. In recent weeks, negotiations have progressed for the president of the Legislative Assembly, Alerge André do Padra, from the PL to be chosen to represent the party in the race. What the hell is this here? Is it? What do you mean? No, seriously. What the hell is this here? What the hell is this? What does he have to be to serve as the alternate? That's what I don't get about corporate media. What does he have to be to serve as the alternate, Andrea? He has to be a candidate. And is he going to be a candidate, Andrea? How is he going to be a candidate if his electoral domicile is outside Brazil? If he's outside Brazil? One of the rules for you to be a candidate is that you have to live within the national jurisdiction. Then they put it in a way that most people many times don't even know what they're talking about. Then they give this guy exposure. So he can be a substitute or whatever kind of sidekick he is.
He has to be a candidate.
Oh, I see. Woohoo, woohoo. Will Andre Mendonça, vice president of the TSC, and Nunes Marques, current president of the TSC, accept his candidacy? Is that what you're saying? No, my hair is already standing on end. It's the horn. Who hasn't been cheated on, right, folks? What nonsense? Why suffer because of that? For what? Nonsense. Don't suffer. What's happening? So you're saying the TSC will accept his candidacy registration even though he lives in the United States? Is that it? Is that what you're saying? No, because if it's something else, you need to explain it to me, because what the hell is this, guys? I'm holding myself back here, because I'll say it again. For someone to be an alternate, they have to be a candidate. Thank you. How is he going to be a candidate? Thank you. If he lives outside Brazil today, thank you. There is still no conviction against him. And his removal didn't happen because of lack of decorum, right? Or lack of ethics and such, as it should have been. He should have been removed by the Ethics Council for lack of decorum. When he went to the United States to conspire against Brazil, that whole situation with the huge tariffs, the Magnitsky Act, the suspension of visas, where he himself produced all the evidence against himself on his social media, saying he was doing it and so on and so forth. He abandoned his position as a federal lawmaker to do that in the United States. And it turned out badly for him. Very badly. There's still no conviction against him, so he can return to Brazil if he wants. And he won't even be arrested if he comes back now. There's no conviction or arrest warrant against him. So for him to be a candidate, he'll have to come back then. There's a case against him, right? For actions during the proceedings and for obstruction of justice, which is now in closing arguments. Then he will be convicted. And his removal, like De Veo's for absences, did not result in ineligibility. No, Andre, no. He was removed for absences and not for breach of parliamentary decorum. If it were for breach of decorum, he would be ineligible. Then it would be common knowledge that he wouldn't be a candidate as a result of his ineligibility for 8 years. So he's not ineligible, and there's no outstanding arrest warrant against him. So he can return to Brazil and register his candidacy. If he doesn't do it, will he do it by email instead? Are they in the United States, and will Brazil's electoral court accept it? Is that what you mean? It's a mockery. Maybe that's why the Supreme Court is handling his trial in a satisfactory way. Soon the final trial session for these two crimes will be scheduled. That will be more than 4 years. And the consequence, ineligibility. It's a mockery, isn't it, guys? And you notice that with headlines like these, they treat everyone like an idiot. And unfortunately, there are many. Maybe that's why. Because in the past, periodicals and newspapers used to be high quality. Today, they're declining. Maybe they're realizing the world is being dominated, right? Due to this decline, let's change the subject. You know, that must be it. Because for God's sake, guys, now I wish he would come back to Brazil because he shot himself in the foot. Eduardo Bolsonaro, he was leading the polls for the Senate in Sao Paulo. Eduardo Bolsonaro, he was in first place. He was set to easily win the federal Senate race, but he chose to give up his office as a federal deputy. Federal deputy. He left, went to the United States, and he started attacking and conspiring against Brazil. That's why he's now charged with facing charges of coercion in legal proceedings and obstruction of justice, because he went after judges and justices of the Supreme Federal Court so that his father wouldn't be tried or much less convicted as he was. And he was constantly threatening, in short, trying to intimidate. And now he's facing this case, which is already in the final argument stage. He could easily win today in October for a Senate seat from Sao Paulo. And he really thought that Donald Tranqueira was going to take down Alexandre de Moraes, was going to take down Lula. After all, an aircraft carrier was going to land F-35s there in Guanabara Bay, Italy, and all that. And it backfired. He's not a fugitive because there's no arrest warrant against him, but he's already basically living like a fugitive because he chickened out and is afraid to come back to Brazil. If he wants to run for office, he just needs to return. There's nothing stopping him. You can come back. It's unbelievable. Write it down, Eduardo Bolsonaro, traitor to the country. Give me a break. Meanwhile, just look at this. Here's the thing. You know about the master scandal, right? Everyone knows about the Banco Master fraud, where Claudio Castro, whom I showed at the beginning of the live stream, took almost R1 billion from the pension fund of retirees, pensioners, and public servants of the state of Rio de Janeiro and invested it in bad stocks. We know Bolsonaro supporter. We know that BRB, the Bank of Brasilia, was used to buy more than 12 billion reais of bad stocks from Banco Master, right? And the former president of BRB, ally and trusted confidant of Ibanez Rocha, who was the governor of Rio de Janeiro. BRB is a public bank linked to the government of the federal district, and so on and so forth. And he used public money from BRB to pull off this scam, this dirty trick. So he's in jail. Who? This one is Paulo Henrique. At the time, president of BRB, appointed and chosen by Ibanez Rocha. He is in jail for all the fraud involving Banco Master, which received money from BRB, the public bank of the federal district. And he is cutting a plea deal. And the news we got is that he is going to turn in Ibanez Rocha and Celina Leao. Both are Bolsonaro supporters. Ibanez Rocha was the governor of the federal district at the time, and Celina is the vice governor who is currently running the federal district. Celina. If he implicates Celina, Andrea, and provides evidence, the first thing that will happen is that she will be removed from the position of governor of the federal district. The question that remains is who will be arrested first. I always tell you that. Whether it will be the former governor of Rio de Janeiro, Claudio Castro, or if it will be Ibanez Rocha from the federal district. My question is who will be arrested first. The one from Rio de Janeiro is already ineligible. Now, if this plea bargain here really does reveal, as has been rumored, who is above him, it's already known that it's very possibly Celina Leao and Ibanez Rocha. All Bolsonaro people, total chaos and violence. Besides that, We can't forget that Daniel Volcar is in jail, who is the CEO and owner of Banco Master, and that his financial agent Fabiano Zetelo is also in jail. Fabiano Zetelo is actually his brother-in-law, married to the sister of Banco Master's owner. Fabiano Zetelo donated 3 million to Lula in the 2022 election. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't to Lula. No, it was to Bolsonaro. If it had been to Lula, Lula would have already been removed from office. Since it's for Bolsonaro, they still support Flávio Bolsonaro because they like criminals, right? They say a good criminal is a dead criminal, but actually a good criminal is a criminal who gets amnesty. A criminal with a reduced sentence, then he's a good criminal, and a criminal who's their friend, right? That's the situation. Fabiano Zetelo, who is in prison, the financial agent from Banco Master, donated 3 million to Bolsonaro in 2022. He wanted Bolsonaro to remain president of the republic, right? I think they knew that if Lula won, the scheme would be revealed, it would be dismantled. That's the only explanation. And he also donated 2 million to Tarcísio de Freitas' campaign. Fabiano Zetelo, who is in prison. Funny, isn't it? And now it's the former president of the central bank. Not the former president of the central bank. The central bank has one too, right? Campos Neto. The Bolsonaro supporter was put there and everything was happening right under his nose. And he simply did nothing. It was Galípolo who stopped everything when he took over as president of the central bank. After the Bolsonaro supporter Campos Neto left. And now Paulo Henrique, the one who is in prison, former president of BRB, is cutting a plea deal. And he's going to turn them in. Who are his buddies in this situation? And let's wait, right? Speaking of which, where's Ibanez? Because Ibanez resigned, right? Just like Claudio Castro resigned. Only Claudio Castro's resignation wasn't accepted, right? Because he was impeached and didn't get elected by the TSE's judgment. And Ibanez Rocha resigned from his position, left the office within the deadline before April 4th, because that's the deadline to step down since he's leaving to run for the Senate. He's going to run for the Senate. He's leading in the polls in the federal district. Let me tell you something, guys. People really like to suffer. People really like to take a beating because there's just no way, no. For the love of Jesus, huh? He should be arrested now, right? Otherwise, he'll soon be a senator and then it won't be the Senate anymore, right? Soon it'll be Alibaba and the 40 thieves. In this case, 81. There are some good people, but for God's sake, life gets way too hard like this. It's one situation after another. Put this up there. Ibanez Rocha in jail, Claudio Castro in jail. How long is it going to take? Oh my God. Mota schedules sessions every week to speed up the proposed constitutional amendment on the 6-on, 1-off work schedule. The goal is to speed up the countdown for submitting amendments in the special committee that analyzes the proposed constitutional amendment on the 6-on, 1-off work schedule and form the presidency's advisory team. Well, this committee here is the most important one. The proposed constitutional amendment to end the 6-on, 1-off work schedule has already cleared the Constitution and Justice Committee on admissibility grounds, meaning that it does not violate the Constitution. And now, in this special committee here, the merits will be analyzed, which is what will really matter, what will actually be in the text and what won't, which is the most important part. And we already know that amendments will be presented, especially by the Bolsonaro supporters we're talking about. The ones who are most absent, Nicolas Ferreira, that delegado Eder Mauro, Mario Frias, Ricardo Salles. All of them will present amendments to add unrelated provisions and try to block the approval of the proposed constitutional amendment that ends the 6-on, 1-off work schedule. And Hugo Mata is only being this quick now. That's why he set aside the whole week for committee meetings to analyze the amendments and everything, to finalize the right text, to really decide whether it will be approved or not. because Lula put him in a tough spot, really put him on the spot. Lula submitted a bill under an expedited procedure, which is a prerogative of the president. What does that mean? It means that this proposal has to be approved in no more than 45 days in the Chamber of Federal Deputies and in no more than 45 days in the Senate. If it isn't approved, everything gets blocked. It blocks the agenda. So either he moves this one forward, Hugo Mora, or Hugo Mora will be forced to move Lula's proposal forward. Which proposal is that, Andrea? This constitutional amendment proposal is made up of two bills that have been joined together. It's the PT's proposal, which is from the government, guys. Lula presented the other one just to put Hugo Mora in a tough spot to move it forward. From Reginaldo Lopez, from the PT, and also from Erica Hilton. There are these two projects that are being considered, that are moving forward, which is what Hugo Mota is working on. They are proposals to amend the Constitution. And what did Lula present? A bill under an urgent procedure to fast track it and get things moving. This one, which is a constitutional amendment, if this one doesn't move forward, then that one will have to move forward. Then Hugo Mota had no way out. Either he moves it forward or Lula's will have to move forward. And this proposal here, of course, they want to approve the constitutional amendment proposal. Why? There's no veto or sanction from Lula. And they will try by all means during the vote itself in the plenary, which will have to be 2 votes in each house, 2 in the Chamber of Deputies and 2 in the Senate with 3/5 of the votes. Qualified quorum, which is a proposed amendment. They will try in every way to cover it up so that Lula doesn't appear as the author, as the one behind the proposal, which we know he is. Just like they did, for example, with the so-called income tax exemption for those who earn up to 5,000 reais. They did that too. What is this, guys? They tried in every way on the day of the vote not to mention Lula's name as the author of the proposal for the income tax exemption up to 5,000 reais. Do you understand? Because what do? They do everything to avoid going to the floor. Because if it goes to the floor, it gets approved. The end of the 6-day work week, just like the income tax exemption for those earning up to 5,000 reais was approved. It gets approved. Because no one will have the courage to vote against these proposals. Just so you know, IBGE released a new survey and 71% of Brazil's population is in favor of ending the 6-day work week. What does that mean, Andrea? Out of every 10 people, more than 7 are in favor of ending the 6-day work week. Just like the issue of income tax exemption, if I'm not mistaken, the percentage was higher. It was 80 or 85%. What does that mean? That whoever votes against it will very likely not be reelected. So what do? They do everything they can to obstruct the progress of the legislative proposal so it doesn't reach the floor. Because once it's there, everyone will vote in favor. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they're going to do with amendments. They're going to propose amendments to hinder the project. They're going to propose rider amendments. They're going to propose that so-called boss's allowance amendment. No. A whole series of maneuvers to try to obstruct the bill. Why, Andrea? Because they support the aristocracy and the elite. They only want workers and the poorest people for their votes, just for political grandstanding. But when it comes time to defend those causes, they don't defend the people or workers. Do you understand? And that's what we're going to see. And that's why Mota scheduled this whole week for it to go through the committee to move forward. Because if it doesn't move forward, he'll have to take Lula's project and move it forward. That's the situation. We'll watch to see who votes for or against. We need to understand and know who is on the people's side, who is on the workers' side. They only defend the elite and upper class. Let them reveal their true colors. Did you understand? That's the situation. And we're going to follow everything. All of this and much more throughout this whole week. All right? There's a lot more information at 12:30. I'm asking you to like the live stream. I'm asking you to share the live stream. The links are in the first comment. Take a look at the first comment. I'm telling you not to get nervous today because today I was the one who got nervous. And we have to wake up. And we have to go for it. Otherwise, we'll lose this election. How do we do it? By raising awareness. Poor people and workers need to understand who's on their side and who isn't. If they don't understand that, we're at serious risk. So share the live stream, like, comment, and share. Bye.